Hello guys and welcome to my 2018-2019 preliminary winter forecast. Now I'm really excited to be back and doing this for you guys. Last year I didn't do one, but the year before I did. So probably a lot of you guys are going to be really excited to see that I'm back. Maybe some people will say that this is a bit early, but I really do enjoy doing climate and weather and stuff like that. So it's really just for fun, and it's my best guess I can do this early. So that's why I'm doing this. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the sea surface temperatures according to the JAMS Tech. And as you can see, it looks like there's going to be a Mordecai El Nino, which basically just means that most of the warmth is off of, South America. It's more off coast and in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. That's really good for, colder winters in the east. Usually when it's closer to the coast, that'll lead to a little bit of a warmer winter over the eastern United States. So it's a good thing we didn't have that, if you like snow in the east, of course. And then the next thing we're going to look at is the PDO, which is just above that, right below California. You can see that that's a little bit positive, and there is that little warm patch in the middle of the Pacific you might see, and that's a little bit concerning. Typically you would want to see that closer up against California for a warmer winter in the west and then a colder winter in the east, but nothing too concerning. And in the Atlantic, it looks like there's going to be a neutral NAO. There's signals that look like they can go both ways. There's a few areas that usually would point towards a negative or positive NAO. One being you want off the eastern United States colder water temperatures, and you can see it's kind of there's areas of cold and warm, but I'll go with warmer overall. And then you also want warmer sea surface temperatures below Greenland, and you can see that that's really cold actually. But you also want warmer waters off the coast of Africa, and you can see that that is there. So there's a few things in both directions, and you can't really pinpoint it. And the NAO is the kind of thing that you can't really worry about too much on like a 3-month scale. You kind of want to pinpoint that week by week. So there will be times where it's positive and times where it's negative. So that's not too concerning. Now, the one year that this compares to the most to me is actually, I think, 2014 to 2015. Let me see real quick. Yeah, 2014 to 2015. You can see it's very similar. Basically, the only difference is there's a little bit of colder water off the coast of the United States, and there's not that warm patch in the middle of the Pacific, the North Pacific, that is. So those are the only big differences that I can think of. Now, as you can see, I'm going to show you two charts. One for the Mordecai El Nino and then one for the just normal El Nino, but you'll be able to get the point of how positive the El Nino will be. It's going to be a weak El Nino, so that's good. You don't really want a stronger one. Here's the JAMS Tech's take on the cold temperatures in the east. Really in the south, I think that it's just a lot of confusion as far as the sea surface temperatures go, so I think that that's what's confusing the model a bit, and it can't decide if it thinks there's going to be colder temperatures in the west or the east. I'm leaning towards east just because of the El Nino and then also the PDO, but my anomaly, again, like I said, was 2014 to 2015. It's just too similar to ignore. And here's the snowfall for that winter. You can go ahead and find your area. I know I had above average snow that year, so that'd be good. Anyway, so here's my precipitation forecast for this winter, my preliminary precipitation forecast. There will be a few more winter forecasts, hopefully. So this is my take as of almost August 1st, which is very, very, very early. I used to do like June and stuff, though, but this is super early still. You can see there's an area of below average precipitation in Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. That's kind of spreading. That's the area of really below average, but it's really spreading through Idaho, Montana, Nevada, and some other areas as well in a less severe level, I guess. Then above average precipitation, mostly in the coast of South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. That's where the storm track is going to be. If you don't know, El Ninos usually bring a lot of nor'easters, so that's going to be the big storm track. I think that, with the way everything looks as far as sea surface temperatures right now, I think everything's going to be pulled slightly east. So I feel like that's what's going to keep the really above average precipitation offshore most of the time, but some storms will obviously bring heavy precipitation up the coast, whether that be rain or snow. Now here's my temperature forecast. Below average for the Lakes region, Pennsylvania, and New England. Now, really, all the models and everything is leaning towards below average temperatures up there. And then, really, it's hit or miss as far as south of there. But typically, you're going to get cold temperatures either in the west or the east. And it's looking like the east, at least the northeast. But really, you can say that most likely there will be at least slightly below average temperatures throughout most of the east. And that's usually how it goes. Now, above average temperatures for Montana, Washington, Colorado, etc., most of Idaho, and that's really just going hand in hand, like I said, with since there's troughing in the east, there'll be ridging in the west, and I think that's mostly because of the PDO, the positive PDO. Also, the Mordecai El Nino would really lean towards that as well. Now, if that warm blob in the middle of the Pacific actually cools down, the one that I was showing you that I'm concerned about, now we're really talking about like solid signs towards a cold winter in the east, warm in the west. So that's really the only thing that's got me a little bit concerned about the accuracy of this forecast. But, you know, this far out, you can't really pinpoint everything. So anyway, here's my snowfall forecast, preliminary. This is really preliminary because usually I wouldn't show this, but, you know, it is what it is. Below average, obviously, for Washington and Oregon, since they'll have below average precipitation and above average temperatures. Common sense. And I think above average snow throughout Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, West Virginia, most of Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and New England. That goes hand in hand with like the nor'easters and possibly clippers throughout the winter. Now, most of the reason why I pulled the above average snowfall west towards Kentucky and Tennessee is because of the 2014 to 2015 analog. That winter did have a lot of snow there, so that would make me lean towards that being a big possibility. And I can't really go against my analog because I really do like it for this year. I think it's very similar, so that's my best guess. Now, for the overall winter forecast, and if you don't know what this is, because I think I'm the only one who does this, maybe some other people do, but basically this is if you're in one of the zones, the sentence right there is basically what you could look back and say about this winter after it's all over. So, for instance, blizzards in New England. I think that there will be a few blizzards in New England, so that's what you would think. Okay, blizzards of 2018 to 2019. A few storms in Pennsylvania, Virginia, Ohio, etc. You know, so I think in the gray area there will be average conditions. Can't really lean in either way. That's as of right now. Obviously, things will change. And then a drier winter in the northwest. You could say warmer too, but I just said drier for some reason. Slightly active lake effect year, slightly above average, I guess. Lake effect year is what I meant to say. So expect some of that. Cooler than normal through Missouri and also Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky. Very wet winter down through Florida and the Gulf Coast. You know, you're going to get a lot of those nor'easters. Not looking at snow down there, obviously. Some people would be like, yeah, you're going to get snow down there. There's just no way. You might get a few inches, but that's about it, unfortunately, if you like snow down there. The winter battle zone is basically just a mix area. That's where there's going to be maybe a few ice storms and really predominantly rain throughout the winter, but there might be a few snowstorms, a couple or a few, depending on where you're at. That usually sets up there, by the way. That's not like uncommon for that to be there. That is like really usually where it is anyway. Anyway, that's it for this winter forecast, guys. I'm thinking about making like a August forecast and a September forecast and stuff like that concerning climatology or whatnot. Also like a hurricane forecast and a fall forecast. So let me know if you guys are interested in any of that, and I'll get it to you guys. Thanks for watching.